Welcome to Unleashed Opinion, boldly challenging the powers that be while keeping liberals in their place with conservative ideals and common sense solutions.
Hello, folks. Welcome to the Unleashed Opinion. We are back once again.
Live and worldwide, right?
Well, we're not live and worldwide right now, but
Yeah, we are.
okay. All
We
right.
are.
Oh, we got Bob Smith in the house tonight. It's always good to have him here. Hey, a big thank you out to our men and women in the armed services, keeping us free and safe as you do on a regular basis. Big thank you to John for putting up with us on a weekly basis. Our listeners out there, you guys are awesome. That's what we're here for. That's why we do what we do, is because you guys out there. So,
Heck yeah. And of course, as always, first responders, military, police officers, school teachers, firefighters, everybody, our hats off to you. And we'll be there for you if need be ever.
you betcha. You betcha. A lot of people get overlooked, and it's easy to do. I mean, sometimes, well, it just happens. People get overlooked. I mean, especially like school teachers. You think, well, sometimes people just send them there.
Is it overlooked or is it taken for granted? Or both?
Maybe a little bit of both. Probably more taken for granted than anything.
Yeah. I mean, we as a society need to work on that, in my opinion.
You know, we don't pay them much money for keeping our kids all day long and schooling them and keeping them safe all day long. You know, so
Right. So if you think of what a daycare provider makes, and compare that to what a school teacher makes, who probably spends as much time with your children, if not more, than your daycare provider, and provides them with an education. You know, what are we looking at there?
yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
so keep that in mind.
absolutely.
I wouldn't want to have dealt with me.
Okay. Hey, we gotta always start the show with something positive. We got a 96-year-old veteran who was on Pearl Harbor when it was attacked. His 96th birthday was just recent, and for his birthday, he went parachuting.
No
Yeah, that's
kidding.
pretty awesome. Let's take a look at that.
All right.
Celebrates his 96th birthday by jumping out of a plane in Lodi, California. Delton Walling, a Pearl Harbor survivor. He's no stranger to skydiving, but he says the birthday dive, well, it's going to be his last. Walling says at 96, you don't know what will happen tomorrow, but he will miss the thrill. He says there's no feeling quite like skydiving.
Well, every time you do something like this, it makes you feel pretty good, you know. Nobody else does it.
Walling says even though he won't be a daredevil any longer, he is going to continue to travel and give motivational speeches about his time in the war and beyond. So we wish him the best. Skydiving, something I've never done.
He does not seem like he's 96, does he? He looks
really
great.
doesn't. I know. Maybe skydiving is the key.
Yeah, I think so.
That man is incredible.
You betcha. 96 years old and getting around like he does and jumps out of a plane?
Right.
Wow.
I mean, not only is he a veteran, but he just jumped out of a plane at 96 years old. I want to be like that guy. I'm just saying.
He's doing quite well.
Yeah, I guess
He's
so.
doing quite well. That is pretty awesome. Not just surviving Pearl Harbor was pretty much a feat by itself, but 96 jumping out of a plane.
Apparently, he still has this thirst for adrenaline.
Yeah, you betcha.
I definitely want to be like him.
Wouldn't hurt a thing. And we got a Good Samaritan Act down in Tampa, Florida. Surveillance video captured two female Tampa police officers being overpowered by a suspect and getting punched in the face. Then citizens jumped in to help. And the incident happened on April 26th after the suspect, Charles Key, headbutted a security officer at a transit center. Key was violating a trespass order at the time, which prohibited him from being at the transit center. Two female officers arrived and confronted Key, who immediately began to resist. Key was able to overpower the officers, breaking free and punching one of the officers in the face. He then grabbed the officer's gun and tried to pull it out, apparently ready to murder the two officers. You could see through the window his hand on the gun. Said the cab driver, the clip ended up coming out of the gun, laying on the ground, so he had his hand on enough to release the clip. So that's pretty close. Let's take a look at this video. It gets a little rough, but we had some good Samaritans too. That's awesome.
Now he starts to resist.
Well, he's resisting from the start. But
Right.
got-
But
there's one guy. Here comes more. There we go.
you know what? That waste of space deserved every bit of that.
And then some.
It's just it's a damn shame when you get into situations like that and you accidentally knee check somebody's the side of their face or something as they're going down to the ground. You know.
Yeah, it's a shame. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Follow instructions. You won't have that problem.
You know that seems to be something that people really have a problem with. They people seem to do things and then blame somebody else, and it's all the problem lies everywhere but with them. So, but a lot of times, you think about it and it's like, well, did you not want to get wet? Don't walk out in the rain.
Pretty much, yeah.
All
It's
right.
pretty simple.
So if you take that simple logic right there and you apply it across the board, I think a lot of our problems with stupidity within society could probably be solved.
Sure, if you don't want to suffer the consequences, don't do something stupid.
There you go. Really is too easy, I think.
It is relatively simple. With that video, after we played that, here's an article. The number of police killed in the line of duty rose sharply in 2016, driven by shootings of police around the country, most notably ambushes in Dallas and Baton Rouge, Louisiana. From January 1 through Wednesday, 135 officers lost their lives. Some died in traffic accidents, but nearly half were shot to death. That's a 56% increase in shooting deaths over the previous year. Of the 64 who were fatally shot, 21 were killed in ambush attacks, often fueled by anger over police using use of force involving minorities. 56% rise in 1 year.
I blame Barack Obama.
And that's where I was going next, for not coming out and condemning all this stupid stuff.
No, he didn't condemn it.
He didn't condemn it at all.
In my opinion, he had his own crooked, corrupt way of encouraging it.
By not doing anything. And if you recall, he had some people from Black Lives Matter come to the White House and told him what a good job they were doing for their organization, for their cause. So yeah, he fueled a majority of this, in my opinion.
I never thought that I would see the day that we would have a someone that we called a leader of this great nation that behaves that way, and I am so glad. I could not be more relieved that he's gone. And there's some other stuff too, like the 1%. Oh, you always condemn the 1%. Well, guess what?
Now he's
$400,000 for a speech. Come on, fellas.
He has $65 million for a book deal. Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, Barack, is it still a good idea that the rich pay a little more? Because you may have a little different idea because you've just broken that ceiling all to hell.
What a clown. I hope that everybody that was naive enough to believe one thing that crooked SOB was trying to push forth looks in the mirror now and says, damn, I'm an idiot.
Well, I'd love to agree with you, but there's a lot of people out there, these snowflakes, just aren't going to go down that road at all.
I can hope.
You can hope. That's right. And I'm right there with you. But look at all these people still crying over. Well, I got a bunch of articles here about people still crying over Trump winning the presidency, which is really a good thing. Otherwise, we'd had Hillary doing pretty much the same crap that Obama did.
You know what? They don't like Trump being president. Too damn bad.
We didn't like Obama being president,
No.
but we weren't out there belly aching and being something other than a snowflake.
Right,
We weren't protesting, burning your crap down, and anything else like that.
Here's the interesting thing, and I think that I can. There's a lot of people that'll agree with me on this, and some of you won't, and I don't care. The behavior of the liberals now, or as we've seen, especially right after the election, is the exact reason that Donald Trump is president.
Yes,
So
it is.
if you look at the big picture of everything, Donald Trump is president because Obama failed that bad. So when you look at this and say, oh, look at what this guy says and what he does, how could he ever be president? Because Obama failed that bad. That's what it boils down to. And again, a lot of people agree with me, some won't, don't care.
But you're exactly right. The guy was a community organizer. I'm still unsure what that means, but that's all he ever was.
It's probably a special title that doesn't mean a damn thing.
Well, that's pretty much the way I'm looking at it. But
Yeah.
a
I'll agree
community
with you on that.
A community organizer. What does that make you a professional protester?
Can you throw a party?
Sure, that's not too hard. You get a keg of beer and make a couple phone calls. Tell them there's a
Right,
band
yeah.
there and you got a party going on. So
Word of mouth travels real fast when there's a lot of beer involved.
you betcha. It's not too difficult.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, let's touch on Hillary here just a little
All
bit,
right.
being as we beat on Trump.
Break it
I
down.
got another article about correctional officers. But anyway, Hillary was on this Women for Women program about a week or so ago, and she was the moderator was asking her different questions, and Hillary went on to explain. Oh, Hillary's got another book coming out here shortly, too.
Of course she does. I'm sure she's getting paid handsomely.
I probably won't buy that one either.
No. Somebody else probably wrote it like they did the last one. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, I did see a copy of that book, Why to Vote for Democrats, and as you flip through the pages, they're all blank.
Hell, I'd buy that. just for the sake of having it.
But anyway, they asked Hillary a little bit about the election and James Comey and such crap as that. And she just can't get over it. She's still bringing things up that, well, the James Comey came out, 10, 11 days before the election and said she's still under investigation. And WikiLeaks from the Russians. And hey, Hillary, we've said it before, you were a terrible candidate. The thing is, people are sick of you and people like you. That's why you were not elected president. I got a little clip here of Hillary talking about Comey, and then it goes on to what she's going to do now that she's not a politician. Let's take a look at the
Oh,
first
yeah,
clip.
she's not a politician anymore.
People who are out there day after day, and it wasn't a perfect campaign. There is no such thing. But I was on the way to winning until the combination of Jim Comey's letter on October 28th and Russian WikiLeaks raised doubts in the minds of people who were inclined to vote for me but got scared off. And the evidence for that intervening event is, I think, compelling, persuasive, and so we overcame a lot in the campaign. We overcame an enormous barrage of negativity, of false equivalency, and so much else. But as Nate Silver, who doesn't work for me, he's an independent analyst, but one considered to be very reliable, has concluded, if the election had been on October 27th, I'd be your president. And it wasn't. It was on October 28th, and there was just a lot of funny business going on around that. And ask yourself this, within an hour or two of the Hollywood Access tape being made public, the Russian theft of John Podesta's emails hit WikiLeaks.
Okay,
What
that's
a
enough of that.
coincidence.
Just,
Go ahead. Continue to blame everybody else. It's what you do. We understand that. You've made a career of it. Why has anybody ever even watched that garbage?
I don't know. Had it not, I seen a little clip of it on the news, I would have never known about it. But, but I do watch the news, and it just happened to be there. I was like, are you kidding me? Still, she's blaming Hillary. There would have never been James Comey's investigation or WikiLeaks in your emails had you not done something stupid.
Right? Yeah.
You caused it.
Yeah, we can't go to the root of the problem. No, we can't do that. And I'll tell you why. We can't do that because we caused the problem. We were the person in the wrong. So how dare that be, how dare we let people know that? We're going to go ahead and blame everybody else.
Sure, why wouldn't you?
It's absolutely amazing that's even acceptable in today's society.
It is baffling. Still, which 4 months after since Trump has taken office?
Right.
Yeah, right at 4 months now.
Not giving it up yet.
Not giving it up at all.
And I'm really interested to see how the left is going to continue their witch hunt. I'm interested to see it because I'm sure, with everything that's going on with Comey and whatnot, that's going to be spun into something that brings the Russians in and all this and how terrible they were, and the left lost because somebody else lost it for them, not because their candidate was a pile of garbage. That can't be it, right?
No, that's surely that can't be
So
it
I'm
at all.
really interested to see of what comes about in the next 6 months or so.
Hillary has a plan.
I'm sure she does.
Let's see what she's going to do as a non-politician or non-candidate at this point.
Jesus, this has got to be good.
It's short. It won't hurt too bad.
For the vast majority of Americans, to say nothing of the rest of the world. So, I'm now back to being an activist citizen and part of the resistance.
There you go. An activist citizen and part of the resistance.
That's a hell of a plan.
Yeah. Hillary, I thought you were interested in the the good of the country.
And the unity and
The unity,
you
all
know.
this stuff. Yeah. You know, like Michelle said, if they go low, we'll go high. Well, you're not doing that because you're part of the resistance. You just told us.
Yeah,
Are you going to join Black Lives Matter?
probably.
You
It wouldn't
gonna leave-
surprise me.
No, are you going to stand out in the interstate in Ferguson, Missouri? Go ahead. See how that works. Double dog dare you.
Yeah, no kidding. In fact, never mind.
Yeah, may not want to
Never
touch
mind.
that. You know, she brought up James Comey, and the big news, you can't even turn on the TV right now without hearing about James Comey getting fired the other day.
Right?
Trump fired him because he said he wasn't doing his job. That's not a secret. Okay. When he came out and said we've investigated Hillary's emails, she did this, this, and this, and it's punishable by this, this, and this,
But not for her.
but we're not going to do anything about
Right.
it.
He should have been fired right there on the
Right
spot.
there, exactly. If not, then January 21st, when Trump took office.
Yep, I agree.
So, you know, as far as him coming out a few days before the election saying, yeah, Hillary's still under investigation, okay, you should have never said that your investigation was done at any point in time. And still don't think you're supposed to be talking about investigations too much anyway, but the press is what it is, and they're going to push you till you say something anyway. But then they're out there saying, well, they didn't say anything about Trump being under investigation. Well, Trump wasn't. There were some people around him, such as Michael Flynn, who was, but Trump himself was not. So you liberals need to go, you people that haven't got over this thing, go lay down.
Yep.
It'll be okay.
You're going to keep, you know, this fight's never going to end. And it's never going to end because you're the ones that jacked up.
Sure.
So when you continue to dodge the responsibility, then, you know, this is going to be an ongoing battle. And in the end, you're going to lose worse than you've already lost now.
And get this, you Hillary supporters or Trump or Sanders supporters that can't get over this election, just wait till the country starts doing good.
Yeah,
What are you
I know.
gonna- what are you gonna
That's-
do then?
Yeah,
What are you- what's you gonna
I'm
be-
really waiting for that.
What's going to be your argument then? Well, this country's doing so good, I can't stand it anymore. Trump said we'd get tired of winning, and we are. We're sick of it. We got to start losing again. We need another Obama or Hillary or Sanders or some crappy person.
We got to
like
bring
that.
the drama because the drama sells. That's what it is. You know, the drama sells. It sells in the media, and unfortunately, it sells in government.
It sure does. It sure does. But it just amazes me that, you know, this is what, roughly 5 months or 4 or 5 months after the election, and still not over it.
You know, and I think it was when we were doing the show before, maybe before I went to Louisiana. We were down here, and I sat over there in that chair, and I said, I'm really interested in what's going to happen over the next 6 months because I knew all this BS was just
Sure.
at the top of the hill waiting to start rolling down. You know,
And it's
so,
just going to get collectively
oh
bigger.
yeah, I mean, it's in my opinion, it's just started. They're going to keep this up until they're absolutely blue in the face. Oh, you got another one.
Got another article
Nice.
to follow up with Hillary's stupidity. Okay. Butler University in Indiana. College students are shelling out a hefty $36,000 a year in tuition at a private university in Indiana. Will soon study strategies for resistance to President Donald Trump.
They're going to study it.
I kind of thought, well, they're going to watch Hillary, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, all right.
The fall semester class titled Trumpism and U.S. Democracy is being offered by Butler University in Indianapolis, Indiana. Donald J. Trump won the U.S. presidency despite perpetuating sexism, white supremacy, xenophobia, nationalism, nativism, and imperialism. The course's description reads, according to the Heartland Institute, this course explores why and how this happened, how Trump's rhetoric is contrary to the foundation of U.S. democracy, and what his win means for the future. The course will also discuss and potentially engage in strategies for resistance. Well, so much for unity. We've got classes on how to be resistant.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, who didn't see this coming? The left's not about unity. We've known this for decades.
Nope.
I mean, come on. They're about themselves. They don't give a rat's.
That, yes.
Yes. They don't give a damn about unity or anybody that does not follow their agenda. We've discussed this countless times. Here's another perfect example. We're going to see more of them, and it's going to get more extreme. So
these-
prepare yourselves.
So these people are paying $36,000 a year in tuition to learn strategies for resistance.
What if they took that $36,000 a year, compounded that over 2 years, invested it for 2 more years, and in 5 years they could start a business and employ some people?
Ooh, that's crazy. You mean you mean have a job?
Well, yeah. You know,
You can't do resistance.
Be a functioning, contributing member to society rather than a complete crap bag.
There's too much resistance out there needs to be done.
Resistance? All right.
Being very sarcastic. The course is taught by Professor Ann M. Savage of the Critical Communication and Media Studies Department. Ann Savage is professor of College of Communications at Butler University. Savage is also listed as professor and inaugural director of the Gender Studies program at Butler.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
Who's
okay.
your favorite, John? Gender Studies.
She co-authored a 2012 paper titled Defying Borders, Transforming Learning Through a Collaborative Feminist Organizing and Interdisciplinary Transnational Pedagogy. I don't even know what that is. Savage is also the author of Women's Rights, Reflections in Popular Culture. Savage will also teach classes called Queering Film, according to Butler's fall course listings. A review by the Heartland Institute of Courses available at Butler University has yet to show any courses offering that present the Trump administration in a positive way that could balance out the courses taught by Savage. Well,
that's been the goal from the beginning.
yeah, but where's all this inclusive stuff? I mean, where's the Donald Trump stuff that's supposed to be inclusive in these high-priced colleges? What happened?
You're probably not going to find it.
Well, maybe if you pay another $36,000 a year, maybe you might get some. I don't know.
Right. Do you remember a while back we had I'd come up with an article about how Bernie Sanders and his idea for free college eventually funneled the money back around into the government.
Sure, well, it's going
and
to.
how the Clintons had previously done that to certain universities. They'd funneled it back around and they've snuck it through the government through Shell oil accounts and stuff like that, which eventually benefited them. So how is this any different? If they're going to pay $36,000 to go and learn this crap, somebody's pushing that. That teacher's getting kicked back from somewhere, because if there wasn't something, in it for her or him, was it a male or a female?
Well, it's Ann, so I'm guess female.
All right,
I'm guessing. I don't know.
I highly doubt if they would be going to that extreme to make that much of an ass of themselves throughout the entire country. So it's coming from somewhere. Follow the money. Follow the money.
According to Butler University, Professor Savage, who arrived in the college in 1998, has been a role model to a new wave of young feminist scholars joining our facility over the last 10 years. She is a tireless community activist and a champion of collaboratization and inclusivity. Really, I can't tell because you
inclusive collaboratization and community action. Well, we've seen where that got us the last 8 years.
Exactly. But you're not too inclusive if you don't have any Trump class, or even to say anything positive about the guy. It's pretty sad.
No, I wonder what she would do if one of the students came up and said, "Hey, you're a clown."
Well, he'd probably fail and probably be suspended from the school for. It's hard to say.
That's not discrimination, though. That couldn't be.
No, not at all. No.
We're going to fail a person because of a political or religious belief, but that's not discrimination.
Yeah, not too much, no. We're just about out of time, but I want to hit this thing before I forget about it. We talked last week about a staff assaults in Menard Correctional Center in Southern Illinois. Okay, and then my point was, at the end of the article, it said the department will refer the case to the state's attorney for possible prosecutions. Possible prosecutions. Okay.
Possible prosecutions.
Yeah, that's a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
However, got this right here.
All right.
Department of Corrections inmates are facing charges of aggravated battery and alleged connection with the April 23rd staff assault at Menard Correctional Center in Chester. The charges were filed Thursday by Randolph County State's Attorney Jeremy Walker. Former inmates Elroy Henderson, Mark Smith, and Deontay Davis are defendants. The trio transferred out of maximum security Menard after the incident. Henderson and Smith were sent to Pontiac, and Davis went to Lawrence. Henderson facing 2 counts of aggravated battery, while Smith and Davis have 1 count each. In Henderson's filing, is alleged he repeatedly struck both correctional officers Brian Eisenhower and Correctional Sergeant Kevin Murray in the face with a closed fist. Smith is also accused of punching Murray in the face, while Davis is accused of repeatedly punching Officer Tyler Graw in the face. Sources told the Herald Tribune that 3 inmates are members of the Four Corner Hustlers, a gang that emerged out of Chicago's West Side in the 1960s. Go figure. Gangbangers still there.
Yeah.
Is that a community organization? Because it could be.
Yeah, it could be. Have you been to Menard? Mm-hmm. Okay, so Menard it's not like other correctional facilities here in Illinois, and I've been to a lot of them, and I know you have too. Menard is nasty. The most shook up I was ever in at Menard was when I went into the facility and it was quiet. But here's the thing about this. Menard is a maximum security prison. It's not a place where drug dealers or petty theft people go to hang out. These are some bad dudes. Now, when I went down there, I did not meet one correctional officer there that had not had time off for staff assault recovery. Not one. Everybody that I met there had been involved in some kind of a staff assault. So I really hope that when those 2 fellows went to Pontiac, they got a nice warm welcome.
It'd be a shame.
Yep.
And he was talking about these guys not being just your petty theft drug dealers. Henderson, 29, serving 55 years, sentenced for first-degree murder with a parole date of August of 2063. Henderson was convicted by a jury of fatally shooting Jamal Houston 5 times in the back, while Houston shielded his girlfriend and son from gunfire. Davis, who's 32 years old, is serving time for murder, aggravated discharge of firearm, attempted disarmament of correctional officer, and drug offenses. He has a parole date of June of 2049. Smith, who's 31, is serving 40-year sentence for his role in November 2002 murder of Eric Weary, a member of the Traveling Vice Lords, and has a parole date of July 2044. So, as you were saying, they're not the cream of the crop.
No.
Here's some good news, too. Based on their prior criminal history, none of the defendants would be eligible for probation and will be eligible for extended term sentences of 14 years. That's too bad. As it turns out, this attack was a planned attack after they were coming back from chow hall between 3 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So it was a planned deal.
Yep.
We got some staff that got hurt. Hopefully these 3 clowns will get what they got coming.
I'm sure they will.
But anyway, the other thing is the Randolph County State's Attorney is prosecuting these guys. That's what I wanted to see.
Yeah.
That's awesome because it's pretty much questionable when we talked about it last week. So really glad to see that you got your law, your attorneys, your state's attorneys behind your correctional staff, your police officers, and such as that. That's a good thing. That's an outstanding thing.
Yep.
So you see all this crap out there. Cops are bad, so on. So yeah, well, at least we got this state's attorney standing behind our correctional officers.
There we go.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, and if you think that you want to criticize police officers for a minute, I invite you to do their job for one day.
Well, and we played some videos of that when they had some protest. I don't remember which one it was. Oh, it was over May Day when they was throwing Molotov cocktails at cops and stuff. But, if clowns are, if you got a whole few hundred people throwing flaming bombs at you and you're an officer,
yeah,
what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Right. And
it ain't nothing simple.
Go down to Menard for a day.
Yeah, that's plenty rough.
Yeah, do a day shift at Menard.
Hey, we're out of time for this segment.
Hey.
Already.
It happens.
Yeah. Remember, if you love your country, if you love your freedom, thank a veteran.
That's right.
Thanks for turning on and tuning in. May God bless. Don't let her hang out there too long.
Yeah, as I've walked in around, she's just got a simple rain jacket on. She'll be fucking soaking.
Especially for the looks of that thing coming in.
So you're not available at all tomorrow?
I'm not, but I can send Blake out here. Oh, as far as doing the show, no.